All right, this should be live now. So this is our mini iSource podcast about our first impressions of iOS 5. Patrick has installed it on his iPad 1. I have it installed on my aging iPhone 3GS. So we got a couple of topics to run through here, and the first one being notifications. What have you found on your iPad 1, Patrick, so far with all these fancy new drop-down notifications?
You know, I'm going to be a big disappointment on this one. I haven't seen that much of it yet because I don't tend to let my iOS devices notify me of very many things. I get some Twitter alerts for direct messages or mentions. I don't let it send me alerts for email or almost anything or anything else. Mm-hmm. So I completely it's all you on that one.
Well, it's also different because that's an iPad, that's a tablet, and this is a phone that's always connected. So not only am I going to get alerts, but also text messages, and It is surprisingly fast. I mean, the 3GS is definitely a lot slower. This is beta 1, of course. It's killing battery, and it's a lot slower. But the notification drawer itself is actually quite speedy, and it does remind me a lot of stuff like lock info, little bit of mobile notifier as well.
I do think it looks pretty. I just don't feel I'm a good that I have any judgment to add on performance because I don't stretch it. I don't use it enough to.
One thing I have noticed though is I kind of wish the window would move down, that it would shift the whole screen down in the way that Palms Web or Palms WebOS shifts the whole screen up when you get notifications. Because what I noticed is I was showing pictures to someone on the iPhone earlier, and I got a text message, actually from you, the iMessages, and I couldn't get to the back button because your text message was blocking the button completely, almost completely, and there's no sort of dismiss button or gesture, I don't think. So I had to wait about 5 seconds for that thing to disappear, and then I could go back.
Yeah. See, again, yours is the far more valid one because you're testing it on your sort of an everyday device,
right? And
whereas I'm testing it. My iPad 2 is really my everyday usage iPad, and the V1 iPad really belongs to my wife and daughter, and they share it, and they've granted me permission to test the beta on it. So again, I'm not facing that same problem where when your last text message alert popped up, there's nothing crucial happening on my iPad to get in the way of.
Right on. Well, how about photos? And this whole area is kind of jumbled. Like you could talk about Photo Stream and all the crazy things that iCloud is starting to offer. With regards to iOS 5. But it's hard to say so far because iCloud isn't fully launched yet. And without Lion there and without having iOS 5 on my iPad as well, it's really hard to tell that much about iCloud. But do you have any thoughts on that so far?
I do, actually. I think, number one, obviously I agree. All the pieces are not there yet, so it's hard to form definite impressions. But I can say that from what the little bits that we're seeing that are live now, and a few of these are live in iOS 4.3.3 as well, which is super cool. So they're live on my iPad 2 as well. One of them that's really, really nice is this idea that the purchase history is very cool addition, obviously, and that's live in 4.3.3.
Yeah.
So that's excellent. You can see that in all three of the stores. So you can see it in iBooks, the iBook store. You can see it in iTunes, and you can see it in the App Store. All of your purchase history, anything that you don't currently have installed has got a little download button next to it, so you can download it relatively quickly. Again, on the beta, on the iOS 5 beta, those downloads are pretty painfully slow. On the iOS 4.3.3 device, they're very quick. One other thing I noticed is that with apps, it will also show you the download button next to them if an update is available, even though you already have the updates tab, and that's a little bit redundant. The other thing that's super slick, really, really slick, is the iCloud feature where if I install an app, add an app on my MacBook Pro now in the App Store, and I've done this a couple times. I have my iPad open and I look at the last screen where there's an available space for a new icon, and it is almost instant. I mean, by the time the download finishes on the MacBook Pro, it's maybe 5 seconds behind on the iPad, and that app is there. Boom.
Wow.
That's really nice. And the same goes for if you add like a new song. I mean, if you add a whole album, obviously this is going to be different. But if you add like a song or two, and you do it on your Mac desktop, and you look at the iPod app and on the iPad, the songs are just there right away as well.
Or rather, it's the music app now, is it not?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Next one is, and this is probably your topic, really, Twitter integration. Because you can log in the Settings app now, right into Twitter, and you'll have options from, let's say, the camera or rather the Photos app to just
Safari.
tweet photos. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I mean, I'm a longtime Twitter user. I'm a Twitter user since, I don't know, just a couple months after Twitter ever, came into existence. I like Twitter a lot. I've always used it pretty heavily on my iOS devices, on my iPhone and iPad, as much or more than I do on the desktop. So I love the integration, or the deep integration that they're giving us in iOS 5. One little feature, which is one of those, MG Sigler of TechCrunch pointed this out on one of his blogs. It's a little thing that's just super slick and nice, is that you get a custom keyboard whenever you are in Photos or wherever you are, and you click the standard share button and you then tap the tweet option, you get a keyboard that has the @ symbol and the hash symbol added, which of course for tweeting purposes is beautiful. It saves you a load of time to be able to give a quick @ mention or use hashtags. Again, small little feature, not earth shaking, but just really nice. Adds, makes the experience slicker. So yeah, I'm a fan of Twitter integration.
Let's see. And one thing I'm kind of curious about, though, is that, or one thing I expected, maybe it's from jailbreak days, is that Twitter integration this deep would allow you to just quickly tweet when you want to tweet. As in, not just, oh, this is a cool link, let me share this, or this is a cool photo, but, oh, here's a quick thought. And it still seems, though, that you have to enter, a Twitter app of your choice to be able to actually just tweet plain words. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it would be cool if there was in a widget, let's say, or somewhere in the dashboard.
Yeah, I mean, that would obviously be even nicer. And I've used that app. I think it's called Q Tweeter.
Yeah, exactly.
In jailbreak days, and that was very nice. I mean, truthfully, I can see how that's, obviously a big level above, to be able to just call it up with a swipe gesture or similar, no matter where you are within the operating system. That's a big level forward. But honestly, truthfully, day-to-day basis, I don't have that many times where I find myself pulling my hair out because that's not there.
Right. I suppose it's actually just a matter of the speed of my 3GS and the lack of RAM on it that makes it feel like it's kind of a bummer that I have to go into an app to tweet.
Okay. Yeah, that could be.
Anyway, folks, that's it for part 1 of this little cast. Stay tuned for part 2.